Ayo, last night All Elite Wrestling presented Revolution 2025 from the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, which overall was a very, very stellar show. It was a phenomenal show until it wasn't. Um, that main event, huh? Yeah. Okay, let's get the bad out of the way first. Let's talk about that main event. This was a crowd that was up all night. The whole show, just up, up, up. That main event got kicked off. That crowd was as dead as a fucking cemetery, man. I had seen some people talking that maybe the women's world title match would go on last. The Hollywood ending between Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May. And like, I'm a big proponent of your world title, your main world title ending the show. I'm just old school like that. The world title is your main thing. That's what you end the show with. Maybe this show should have ended with the women's world title match. Honestly, for real. I mean, because you would still have a world title closing the show, and those women bled buckets and put on a hell of a match. And it would have sent the crowd home not as dead. Something did happen at the end of the main event that did kind of bring the crowd back up, but by then it was just too late. That main event, and this is the story with AEW, for real. The last few, like, I'd say about the last month, they've been putting on some pretty decent TV after like a very long time of not producing very compelling television at all. But no matter what they do, it is brought down by this Jon Moxley and the Death Riders angle. Same was the story for the pay-per-view tonight. All the players I talked about in the preview video were involved in the main event, but not in the way, in a very, very colluded way. It was too much. And it would like, they're like, towards the end of the match, Jay White comes down because Wheeler Yuta had come down, and like everybody had seen this coming. He had psycho kicked Adam Copeland in the head. Everybody saw that coming a mile away after the television on Wednesday. And then Jay White comes down. He takes care of Yuta for a minute, grabs this briefcase that Moxley has the world title in, goes to hit Moxley with it, accidentally hits Copeland with it. Wheeler and White, they take a powder out in the crowd fighting. And then boom, here comes Christian with the contract. Christian comes down. Moxley's out. Copeland's out. Christian signs the contract, hands it to the referee, goes in, spears Copeland. Boom, 1, 2. Copeland raises his arm. Then he goes to give him the kill switch. And then Moxley just chokes him out and wins. I mean, come on. Make it make sense. For fuck's sakes, make it make sense. I mean, Tony Khan is on all of the internet messaging boards. He watches all the videos from content creators talking about his product. He watches all this shit. We know he does. How does he not know that this angle is dragging down everything good that he is doing with his company right now, man? Like, because for real, everybody wants to shit on AEW. Like, and there are some things to shit on, but they have been doing a lot of good stuff lately. They really have. But once again, the Death Riders angle just totally fucking, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, man. You've done a lot of good shit tonight, but that is what they're going to be talking about. It's what I'm talking about. It's what everybody else is talking about, which is a shame. Because, okay, let's talk about the cage match. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. This was the match of the night. Actually, I've got two matches that are actually tied with me for match of the night, and they were back to back. And then to just present that shit in the main event after the previous two matches you had on, you did not do Adam Copeland and John Moxley any favors at all. Because as dead as that main event was, man, it was not their fault. That match should have been on the middle of the card. Period. But the cage match, Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. Man, look, AEW has accidentally found a star in Kyle Fletcher. A very unexpected star in Kyle Fletcher. Let's hope they don't fuck this up. But yeah, Kyle Fletcher had come in as part of Aussie Open, the tag team from New Japan, and he was in that tag team, and then his partner got hurt. Mark Davis got hurt. And then Kyle Fletcher was off to do singles. And they have found a star. But the match, this was very, very, very good. This was excellent. We knew they were going to do some crazy shit going into it. They didn't save the crazy shit till the very end, but man. But I like the story they told because Ospreay has never been in a really legit cage match before, man. And so his offense has a lot to do with using the outside of the apron and the springboards and all that shit. He was confined in that cage and he couldn't do it. So throughout the course of the match, you got to watch Will Ospreay mentally adjust to his, or mentally adjust his offense. You got to see this. He adjusted his offense throughout the match, which was like that was good. I like that. It was really good. But then they busted out the thumbtacks. Kyle Fletcher took one of the sickest bumps into thumbtacks I've ever seen, man. Just gut and thigh first. And oh my God. And then they go to the top of the cage and Will Ospreay hits this Spanish fly on Kyle Fletcher from the top of the cage. And Jesus Christ, they're lucky both of them did not break their necks. My God, man. Man, we're just going to go backwards from what I watched. So we start at the main event, and we'll just work our way backwards. Before that, you had Kenny Omega and Tenosuke Takeshita. As expected, this was a stellar match. Went just the way I thought it would. Kenny Omega gets the win, gets the belt. They're setting up for him and Okada at All In Texas. That's where they're going to. That's what it's working to. Because Okada won his match against Brody King. I didn't even watch that match. I skipped it. I watched it this morning because I worked late last night, so I didn't have a chance to watch it live. So I just watched it this morning. But yeah, stellar match, man. And people need to start giving Don Callis his props. Don Callis is a throwback to an old school manager. For real. He's a chicken shit. He's on commentary, running his mouth. Dude, he is an old school 1980s manager, and he's doing a great job at it, man. It's a nice thing to see because for the longest time, managers have just been kind of discarded and not even a part of wrestling unless you count Paul Heyman. And that's not. He's an advocate, and he only really works with one client at a time. But Callis is that old school 80s manager that's got a stable of goons, very talented goons, but he's got even stable of goons, and he just runs roughshod, and it's cool. I like it. But yeah, the match was great. So, what else did I watch off of that? Oh, the first match. Well, did I watch anything? Well, yeah, did I watch anything after the first match until I got to that? I can't remember. I just watched it this morning. But the first match opened up. That opened up the show, or the main pay-per-view. You had the 0 Hour card, which had some just on it. They did shoot a pretty good angle with Chris Jericho and Bandito, though. Go check out the 0 Hour for that if you want to. But the match started off with MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and Hangman Adam Page. And this one was kind of slow moving at first. It took them a minute to get their speed up. But when they caught their pace, it was really good, man. It really was. There was a bump in this match that, Jesus Christ, Adam Page is lucky he didn't break his neck. They were on the outside of the ring, and there was a chair. And it wasn't a chair laying flat on the ground. It was a chair folded out in the seating position. And MJF gives him a tombstone pile driver on this chair that when he landed on the top of his shoulders and the back of his neck. And I'm like, oh my God, that just looks sick. But I expected a fuck finish in this, man. I did, to kind of keep both guys strong going into it, but MJF lost clean. So, I mean, I wonder what they're going to do with him next. Like, what's their plans for MJF after taking a clean loss to Page? Because it's time, to start, getting Page in that world title picture. Oh, yeah, I watched Swerve, guys, I was about to say, getting that world title picture with Swerve Strickland now. Swerve Strickland and Ricochet. I watched that match. That was a really good match. And, Swerve Strickland won to become the number one contender for the AEW title. And at the end of the show tonight, when Moxley was walking out, going through the crowd like he always does, Prince Nana comes out and he's talking to Moxley like, my guy's got that number one contender spot. He's got it, he's got it, he's got it. The camera shifts off to the right a little bit and you see perched up on the guardrail, perched up on the guardrail, like maybe 15 feet in the air, you see Swerve Strickland perched up there. And then he just dives on Moxley, man. Hits him with that big swerve stomp. And that's how they go off the air. And that popped the crowd up for a pretty dead main event. But overall, that's it. Yeah, this is a quick video today, man. I got to get ready to go to work. But overall, I thought it was a really good show. But the main event did more damage to it than good. It really did. One step forward, two steps back. Let's see what they do on television Wednesday night. It looks like it's going to be Swerve and Moxley for the AEW title at Dynasty on April the 6th. Hopefully that ends the Death Riders and Swerve will win the world title, because this shit has been boring as fuck. Everybody knows it's been boring as fuck. But let's get that belt on Swerve, and let's go into Swerve and Hangman Page 4 at All In Texas. Fuck it. Let's run that. Those two always produce, and they'll make it intriguing. So yeah, let's just see what happens on television Wednesday night on Dynamite. See where it's starting to build towards Dynasty, and see where it starts to go in towards Double or Nothing. Because I hope their plan is not to keep this belt on Moxley until fucking All In, because that's in July. Dude, 3 more months of this shit will drag that television down. So come on, let's hope that Swerve get that belt at Dynasty to spark this shit up a little bit. I'm going to get out of here, y'all. I got some shit I got to do before work. It's good talking to you guys. Man, I'll holler at you guys later. Have a good day, man.